Usually their trading will be in bulk, quantity will be very heavy, and usually the number of transactions will be low, and they will not have any direct contact with the ultimate consumer. He will have a network of retailers who will be purchasing from him, and they will see that the goods reach the hands of the ultimate consumer. Whenever there is a demand for that particular product, the manufacturer should ensure that the product is available in the retail shop. Hello everyone, I am Purnima, faculty in the Department of Commerce, Vidhyaashram Pre-University College, Temple of Excellence, Mysuru. I welcome you all to this session on Chapter 10, Session 1. Now, as we all know that the Chapter 10 deals with internal trade. Now, what do we mean by trade? Trade is nothing but the exchange of goods and services for money. So, man since times immemorial, so he has been engaging in this trade. So, ever since the evolution of the trade and commerce, we have seen lot of trading activities going on, and then in this trading activities we have broadly classified into two types of trades. That is, one is the internal trade, the second one is the international trade. Now, in this chapter, internal trade, we will be dealing with all the trading activities within the country. So, within the borders of the country, so whatever trading activity takes place, they all comprise of internal trade. Okay, so in this internal trade, let's just see what this tells us. So, introduction. Trade refers to buying and selling of goods and services with the objective of earning profit. So, whenever any person engages in trade, it means that he is selling the goods to earn a profit. Then mankind has been engaged in trading in some form or other since the early days of civilization. The importance of trade in modern times has increased as new products are being developed every day and are being made available for the consumption throughout the world. So now we have to understand that this trading activities, whatever is there, nowadays it is becoming more and more important. Why? Because every day latest kind of gadgets are entering the market, and because of lot of encouragement for research and development, and all these gadgets, so they are to be made available all over the world, and all these products, they should be made available to the people for consumption, and hence we need to give more importance to trade. Now, next, let us see what this tells us. So, on the basis of geographical location of buyers and sellers, the trade can be broadly classified into two categories, that is internal trade and external trade. So, trade which takes place within the country is called as internal trade, and trade between two or more countries or other countries is called as the external trade. So, this trading activity, what all goes on, so they can be broadly classified into two types. That is, one is internal trade, the other one is external trade, or we call it as the international trade. So, the trade carried on within the nation is called internal trade, and trade carried out between two nations, we call it as the external trade or the international trade. Now, the buying and selling of goods within the boundaries of the nation are referred to as the internal trade. No custom duty or import duty is levied on such trade as the goods are part of domestic production and are meant for domestic consumption. So, whenever you engage in internal trade, there will be no customs duty and no import duty on the goods which are traded within the nation, and it is all meant for internal consumption only. So, the people of the nation, they will be making use of the product whatever we have produced. Then generally the payment has to be made in the legal tender of the currency or any other acceptable currency. So here in internal trade, we should understand that there is an exchange of goods for money, and this money has to be paid in the local currency. So if you are in India, you will have to pay it in Indian rupees, or if you go to US, you will have to pay in the American dollars itself. So whatever is the local currency which is there, so in the same currency only the payment has to be made, or nowadays we can always make use of the card payment. Then internal trade can be classified into two broad categories. They are the wholesale trade and the retail trade. Now in this internal trade, it has been further classified into two types, that is the wholesale and the retail trade. Now let us see what do we mean by this wholesale trade. Now the purchase and sale of goods and services in large quantities for the purpose of resale or intermediate use is referred to as the wholesale trade. Now wholesalers, they usually buy in bulk, or they buy in very large quantities, and then they just sell it to the retailers. So in other words, wholesale trade is usually done for the purpose of resale, or they will be acting as the intermediaries between the manufacturers and the retailers. So in this way, we should understand that wholesale trade engages in bulk purchasing, and they will be dealing with a few selected items of goods, and usually they will be selling to the retailers. Then purchase of and sale of goods in relatively small quantities to the ultimate consumers is called as retail trade. The wholesaler will sell to the retailer, and the retailer will sell it to the ultimate consumer. So the ultimate consumer, he will not buy in large quantities, so he will just buy whatever is sufficient for his household. That is, on a monthly basis he may be purchasing, or on a weekly basis, or as and when the product gets exhausted, so he may be purchasing some products. So in this way, the consumption pattern of the consumer will vary, so depending on the type of household he has. So in this way, we should understand that in this retail trade, whatever we carry out, so it will be usually trade to the ultimate consumer, and usually the selling will be in small quantities. Okay, next, the traders dealing in wholesale trade are called as the wholesale traders, and the traders dealing in retail trade are called as the retail traders. Okay, so retailers and wholesalers are important marketing intermediaries who perform very useful functions in the process of exchange of goods and services between producers and ultimate consumers. So whenever you think about the marketing channels, on one side we have the manufacturer, on the receiving side we have the consumers. So between these manufacturers and the consumers, there are a lot of intermediaries. So the two important intermediaries are the wholesalers and the retailers. Now these intermediaries, they will be doing lot of services for the manufacturers as well as the retailers, and even the retailers may be doing some services to the wholesalers as well as the consumers. So they are the chain between which the manufacturer and the consumer are bound with. So they perform some very useful functions for the wholesalers as well as the retailers and ultimate consumers also. Now, internal trade aims at equitable distribution of goods within a nation speedily and at reasonable cost. Now, in this internal trade, we should understand that whether it is wholesale trade or retail trade, the ultimate aim of every manufacturer is to reach the goods to the hands of the ultimate consumer. So whatever is being produced in the factory, it should reach the ultimate consumer, and he has to consume the product. Only then we can say that the product is a success. So until and when the goods are lying in the godown, we cannot say that the product is a success. So we should understand, we should make all possible arrangements to see that the goods have time utility and place utility. Now, what is time utility? Time utility refers to seeing that the goods arrive in the place of purchase at the correct time. So, whenever there is a demand for that particular product, the manufacturer should ensure that the product is available in the retail shops. Then next one is the place utility. We should try to see that the goods are available at the place of consumption. So, the product may be produced in South India, but it may be demanded somewhere in the North India, that is Delhi, Haryana, Punjab, etc. So, we should try to see that we have a very good network of logistics and we have a very good chain of wholesalers and retailers who make sure that the product reaches the ultimate consumer. So, all this comprises of the internal trade. Now, let us look into in detail about what is wholesale trade. We have all understood that wholesale trade is nothing but trading in bulk. So, they will be trading in bulk in a very large quantity, and usually money exchange also will be very huge, and usually they will be buying in some limited quantity of goods. So, they don't go for a variety, but only particular 3 or 4 commodities they will be just dealing with, and this comprises the wholesale trade. Now, wholesaling is concerned with activities of those persons or establishments which sell to retailers and other merchants and or to industrial, institutional and commercial users, but who do not sell in significant amount to ultimate consumers. So, we should understand that the wholesaling deals with activities of those persons or those establishments who sell to retailers. Now, sellers, they may sell it to the retailers or they may sell it to the other merchants. So, they also may be the wholesalers, or they may sell to the industrial houses. So, as a raw material, so they may be selling to the production houses or institutional and commercial users. So, it may be some products may be used for commercial use. So, these wholesalers, they will be supplying for commercial use also, but who do not sell in significant amount to ultimate consumers. So, usually their trading will be in bulk, quantity will be very heavy, and usually the number of transactions will be low, and they will not have any direct contact with the ultimate consumer. So, all this comprises of the wholesale trade. Now, next, wholesalers serve as important link between the manufacturers and the retailers. Now, on the one hand, we have the manufacturers, and at the receiving hand, we have the consumers. In the middle, we will be having the wholesalers. So, these wholesalers, so they will be in contact with the manufacturers as well as the consumers. So, they enable the producers not only to reach large number of buyers spread over a wide geographical area, but also to perform a variety of functions in the process of distribution of goods and services. Now, we should understand that these wholesalers, they will be reaching the large number of consumers. So, how they will do? They will enable the producers not only to reach large number of buyers spread over a wide geographical area. So, whenever there is any goods which are manufactured by the manufacturer, so they will sell in bulk to the wholesaler, who will in turn sell it to his various retailers. So, he will have a network of retailers who will be purchasing from him, and they will see that the goods reach the hands of the ultimate consumer. So, he will be helpful for the manufacturer in helping the product to reach to the ultimate consumer, and he will also help in to perform a variety of functions in the process of distribution of goods and services. In addition to distribution of the goods to all the retailers, he will also be performing a lot of other functions. So, let us see what are the various functions he will be performing. So, first thing is, they generally take the title of goods and bear the business risk by purchasing and selling goods in their own name. Now, these wholesalers, so whenever they buy from in bulk from the manufacturers, they will be a transfer of title from the manufacturer to the wholesaler, and these wholesalers, they will bear the risk of this manufactured goods, and then they will sell it in the open market, or they will sell it to the retailers, and in this way they will be helping the manufacturers to get back the money whatever they have invested on the goods. So this is one of the most important services given by the wholesalers to the manufacturers. Then they purchase in bulk and sell in small lots to retailers or industrial users. So generally these wholesale merchants, they purchase in bulk. So they purchase in very large quantities and sell it in smaller quantities to the retailers or the industrial users. Then next one is they undertake various activities such as grading of products, packing into smaller lots, storage, transportation, promotion of goods, collection of market information, collection of small and scattered orders of retailers, and distribution of supplies to them. Now, what other functions the wholesalers will be doing? So, they will be doing various activities like grading of products. So, what is this grading of products? Usually, this will be done for agricultural products. So, they will be doing grading and sorting. Suppose it is fruits. So, the bigger fruits will be priced at a more money, and whereas a medium sized fruits at another price and smaller sized fruits at another price. So they will be engaged in grading of products, packing into smaller lots. So whenever they buy in huge quantities, so they will engage in packing that huge quantity into smaller quantities. So they may buy bags of 25 kgs rice or 100 kgs of rice in that, and then they will repack into smaller bags of 5 kgs and 10 kgs, which will be convenient for the retail trader. Then they will also engage in storage of goods. So they will have to see that the goods are in a good condition until it is sold. So they will try to give almost all the storage facilities to the goods, then as well as the transportation facilities. So these wholesalers, they will ensure that there are good transportation facilities for the transport of goods from the wholesalers go down to the retailer. Then promotion of goods. Now some of the wholesale traders, they will engage in promotion of goods. So what do you mean by promotion of goods? They will be engaging in advertising of the goods. So what kind of advertisement they will do? So they will advertise for the products whatever they are dealing with, or they may do some sales promotion, etc. So in this way they try to promote the goods, and then they will also collect market information. So most of the wholesale traders, they will be in touch with the retailers, who in turn will collect feedback from the consumers. The ultimate consumer is the person from whom we can get the latest information. The changing taste and preferences of the customers can be collected from the retailers, and the wholesaler will be able to maintain a record of all the data which is collected from various retailers with whom he has contact. Then collection of small and scattered orders of retailers. So there will be a lot of retailers who will be connected to this wholesaler, and he will be collecting orders from all these retailers and processing the order and sending it on time, and then he will be distributing the supply of goods to all these retailers. So they also relieve the retailers of maintaining large stock of articles and extend credit facilities to them. So most of the wholesalers, they will be giving on a credit basis to the retailers, and then they will also be seeing that the retailers need not maintain a large stock of goods, and as such they will be also extending credit facility also to the retail traders. Then next let us see what are the services of the wholesale trade. So first one is availability of goods. Now what do we mean by availability of goods? So we should ensure that there is a continuous supply of goods to the market. So whenever the demand for a product is there in the market, we should ensure that there is regular supply of goods to the market. Now who will be able to help us in this? It is usually the wholesaler. So retailers have to maintain adequate stock of varied commodities so that they can offer variety to their customers. So the retailers will have a very good stock of commodities in their retail shop. The wholesalers make the products of various manufacturers readily available to the retailers. So when the retailers have stock of all the goods, so it is made available with the help of the wholesalers. Then next one is marketing support. Now what do we mean by marketing support? The wholesalers perform various marketing functions and provide support to the retailers. Now what kind of marketing functions they do? They undertake advertising and other sales promotional activities to induce customers to purchase the goods. So they will be undertaking advertising and other sales promotional activities. So if the wholesaler is engaging in advertising and sales promotional activities, this will help both the manufacturer and the retailer, because he would have already created a demand for the product and the ultimate consumer will go and buy the product. So he will be indirectly inducing the customer to purchase the goods. So this is one of the most important functions, which is services which is given by the wholesale trader. Then retailers are benefited as it helps them in increasing the demand for various new products. So whenever he gives lot of promotional activity for the goods, the retailers will prosper, because most of the ultimate demand from the consumer they get, and the most of the goods will be sold immediately, as a result of which the retailer will get back whatever money he has invested. Then next function of wholesale trade is the grant of credit. The wholesalers generally extend credit facility to their regular customers. Now a wholesaler, he would have invested lot of money in purchasing the products in bulk, and then he will be selling on credit to the retail businessman. So he will be just extending credit also to the retail businessman. On one hand, he will be helping the manufacturers get back their return on investment, and on the other hand, by providing credit to the retail businessman, so he will be supporting the retail trade also. So this is one of the most important services rendered by the wholesale trade. So this enables the retailers to manage their business with a relatively small amount of working capital. So when the wholesaler lends to the retailer, so he grants them a period of credit, the retail businessman can always carry out the business with a relatively small amount of working capital. Then the next one is specialized knowledge. The wholesalers specialize in the line of products and know the pulse of the market. So these wholesalers, whoever are there, they will have specialized knowledge of the products in which they are dealing. So they will actually know what is the pulse of the market, what does the customer prefer, and what are his tastes and preferences. So based on that, they will be doing their business. They pass on the benefit of their specialized knowledge to the retailers. So this specialized knowledge, whatever they have got with the help of the market survey, they will be passing out it to the retail traders. Then they inform the retailers about the new products and their uses. So usually we know the wholesale traders, they will be in constant contact with the manufacturers. So when the manufacturer comes up with the new product and he will be enlightening the wholesale traders about the product, and this in turn, this information will be passed on to the retailers. So the retailers, they will know about the existence of a new product in the market, and they will inform the consumers who will be eager to purchase such a product. Then they may also advise them on the decor of the retail outlet, allocation of shelf space, and demonstration of certain products. So some of the wholesalers, they will also advise them on the decor of the retail outlet. So how the retail outlet should be designed, and they will also inform them, or they give advice to the retailers about the shelf space, how they should arrange the goods in the shelf, and also a demonstration of certain products also will be done by these wholesalers. Then wholesale trade, in the next important service is the risk sharing. Now what do we mean by risk sharing? The wholesalers purchase in bulk and sell in relatively small quantities to the retailers. So the wholesale purchasers, they will be buying in a huge quantity and selling it to the retailers in credit. So in this way, they will be sharing the risk of the manufacturers as well as the retailers. Then being able to purchase merchandise in smaller quantities, retailers are in a position to avoid the risk of storage, pilferage, obsolescence, reduction in prices, demand fluctuations in respect of larger quantity of goods that they would have to purchase in case the services of wholesalers are not available. Now, because of the wholesale traders, the retail traders are enjoying. What kind of enjoyment they are having? They can always buy in smaller quantities. So when they buy in smaller quantities, they need not store the goods, and then there will be no threat of pilferage, that is any threat of any goods being stolen, obsolescence, that is they may not have to face this obsolescence. What is obsolescence? That is when the technology gets outdated. So all those products which are made with outdated technology, so they may not have to bear the risk of that. Then reduction in prices and demand fluctuations. So the fall in the prices of goods, the demand fluctuations in the prices of goods, all these things will be borne by the wholesaler himself, and the retailer will not have to bear all this. So he need not take the risk of fluctuation in prices, and also they would have to purchase in case the services of wholesalers are not available. So these are the various services which are given by the wholesalers to the retailers. Hope you have all understood this session on internal trade. Thank you.